It's a system which we are talking about of our on-demand hydrogen electrolysis unit. We are ready today. A lot of people in the surrounding, in the combustion engine world, in the political lobby are talking about the final solutions.
Welcome to the Market Frontlines. I'm Lyndsay Malchuk. There's a massive difference between building technology and building a company that can actually commercialize it at scale. And that's the phase dynaCERT Inc. appears to be stepping into right now. For years, the market has associated dynaCERT with hydrogen technology, with emissions reduction, fuel savings, and the push toward cleaner diesel efficiency across transportation and mining, oil and gas, and even the industrial sectors. Now, that conversation is shifting. This is becoming less about the concept and more about execution, deployment, and market expansion, as well as converting years of groundwork into real commercial momentum. And joining me is Kevin Unrath, newly appointed CEO of dynaCERT, stepping into the role at a time when the company is very aggressively pushing into international markets, expanding operationally, and focusing heavily on commercial conversion and deployment. Kevin, it's so great to see you. It's been a minute since we've chatted.
Hello, Lyndsay. Pleasure meeting you again. As always, as you say, it's just like a minute we talked last time. Thank you for having me today.
Absolutely. Now, I want to start with your transition into the CEO role. Congratulations first on that. This comes at a time, it feels like the timing of this move feels very intentional. The company has openly stated this next phase is about operational execution, commercial deployment, and revenue conversion. So, Kevin, what changes under your leadership and what are the priorities that investors should expect to see immediately from you to signal that dynaCERT is now entering a different phase as a company?
Yeah, good question, Lyndsay. As you said, it was a long plan to go this direction. We had a lot of internal discussions with the board, with Jim Payne as former CEO. So thank you first to everybody, to Jim, to the board for the trust and the confidence in my person and for the next step for me there. I think it was a consequential way that we did there because we started roughly 1 year ago in the operational role on the COO side with a lot of production, product topics, development topics, where we did put a lot of effort in throughout the last year. As you also know, during this time, we did get some additional know-how on board too. We have Dr. Ingo Wintroff on board, who is our head of R&D with a lot of technical knowledge, especially in the thermodynamics sector, which is one of the most important parts of our technology at the end of the day. For sure, we are talking about on-demand hydrogen electrolysis. That's our hardware. But at the end of the day, it's a system which we are talking about of our on-demand hydrogen electrolysis unit. But, and that's most important, the combustion engine in the background. And with Ingo and some additional people, we have a lot of know-how gained in this area of combustion engine thermodynamics, but also in cell chemistry and also in vibration and shock analysis to mount the units. So after doing all these changes also in the setup with the new people on board, it was clear that the next step is the move into the CEO role. And now we are looking for the operational execution, as you said, and need to grow the unit and the population in the market.
You know, that's a really great definition and explanation that you gave to us. I want to stay on this theme for just a little bit longer. Now, you came into dynaCERT originally as COO with a very strong background in logistics, in production systems, automotive operations, and scaling businesses internationally. So how much of your mandate, Kevin, right now is about tightening operational discipline internally versus aggressively pursuing growth externally? Because from the outside looking in, it feels like the company is trying to do both at once.
Yeah, Absolutely correct, Lyndsay, as you mentioned it, but that's what we need to do. We need to do a lot of topics at the same time. So we are working in parallel on a lot of topics. We did spend a lot of time throughout the last year in production. We did get ready for higher production volumes. We did analyze a lot of topics there. We did put also the hardware back on the development board. We checked the unit. We did do quite some improvements also on the unit. And out of this, we are working on the market to create higher volumes and a higher market reach at the moment, with also a lot of new destinations, as we will talk about in a second, in front of us.
Well, let's continue that conversation with the product itself, because hydrogen remains the core of the story, as you said. For viewers who may be newer to dynaCERT, can you explain what makes hydrogen relevant right now in today's market?
As we discussed already in a few conferences, and as Bernd Krüpper talked with you last time, and as I like to say, we are ready today. A lot of people in the surrounding, in the combustion engine world, in the political lobby are talking about the final solutions. For sure, if we talk about final solutions, a lot of people have in mind electric mobility, have in mind hydrogen combustion, have in mind fuel cell or synthetic alternative fuels for normal combustion engines. This is a step in front of us. We are an upfitting equipment for existing combustion engines, and we are ready now. So I would say we are a bridge technology to the final solutions. The good thing on the bridge is a lot of bridges might be quite long. And so we have a lot of time in front of us where we can gain high population out in the market, and we can support a lot of customers in different kinds of applications with our product directly today.
So great. I love that explanation. It's so clear. It's so precise. So thank you for that. We continue hearing, Kevin, massive conversations around electrification, but the reality is heavy transport and mining, industrial operations, and generators still rely very heavily on diesel. So where does the hydrogen fit into the global reality right now, especially given everything that's going on? And pushing it a little bit further, why do you believe this technology is becoming more important, not less?
I think the technology itself is coming more important as everybody on this planet is striving for new solutions and a greener footprint in our economy and in our business world. At the end of the day, as I said before, we are ready today. We can generate hydrogen on demand with our hydrogen unit. This means we do not need any kind of hydrogen network in the background, and we do not have to store hydrogen. So this is really important for our solution at the moment. So it's available everywhere. The only thing you need at the end of the day is distilled water to power our electrolysis. And by having this, you are able to generate hydrogen wherever you want at the moment.
And that simplifies it so much. And, I said it with Bernd as well. I'm going to say it here. Your unit actually goes onto the existing engine already. So you don't need a new engine. It already goes on. And I believe that Bernd said it was like a 2-hour install process. Is that correct?
That is correct. If you look at our product platform, if you look at our HG1R unit and our HG2R unit, then we talk roughly about 2 to 2.5 hours in a standard installation for sure. If you look on our bigger sized equipment, so our HG4 and HG6 units, which are for displacements above, let's say 30, 60, up to 90-liter displacement engines, there for sure it's more a customization. The equipment is more complex. The location on the equipment is not as standardized. So there we look on a higher installation time and more customization necessity in the beginning. But talking about HG1R and HG2R, absolutely correct. We talk about 2 to 2.5 hours in a standard installation.
Kevin, let's flip over to the expansion that you're doing right now. There's Vietnam, which clearly has become a major strategic focus for the company. Now, you've described Vietnam as a gateway into Southeast Asia. So with pilot installations already operating across trucking and port operations alongside growing government and industrial engagement, what are you seeing there that gives you confidence this is becoming a very meaningful commercial market for dynaCERT?
I think what we are seeing, and that's not only Vietnam, for sure, Vietnam is the example we are working at the moment heavily. Also in Latin America, we are working in countries like Mexico with some of our partners, and also further south, countries like Colombia and South America, we are working. For us at the moment, these emerging countries are very interesting as we find a very clear situation there, which is interesting for our product. Some kind of older equipment, but also newer equipment facing challenges with bad fuel quality. So there's a lot of surrounding conditions in these countries in South America, but also in Southeast Asia, where there comes a lot of topics together which optimize the efficiency of our product and which optimize the interest of the economy for our product.
So great. What if we go beyond Vietnam? I mean, how important is Asia overall to the company's long-term growth strategy over the next 3 to 5 years, we'll say?
I would say very important. That's why we are in Vietnam. There are very interesting countries surrounding Vietnam, Thailand, Indonesia, but also going a little bit more east again, like India. These are countries that are highly interesting for us. For sure, India is a very big market. That's a different topic and one of the next steps maybe. But Vietnam is a proper surrounding to start our Asian activities at the moment and to gain also a footprint in Thailand, Cambodia, Indonesia, directly surrounding the country.
It's amazing. You guys are doing so much. It's so exciting to hear all of the progress that you're making. I want to close this conversation out with a bit of a broader vision here. I mean, there's clearly been a major effort over the last year to reposition dynaCERT around execution, scalability, and commercial growth. Now, you've talked about converting field activity into measurable revenue opportunities. So, Kevin, when investors look back 12 months from now, what do you believe will define success for you as CEO? And what are the milestones that would signal this company has genuinely crossed into its next chapter?
For sure, it's the industrialization perspective of the company. That's what we need to reach throughout the next 12 to 60 months. It's creating bigger volumes. It's creating continuous higher production volumes. And out of this, really, let's say, not only entering, but also conquering some of the markets at the end of the day with high volumes. For this, at the moment, what we are doing is creating and building how we approach and go into the markets. We are defining right partners for installation, for maintenance. At the end of the day, we are selling a technological product. And for this, we need to set up the right boundary conditions in the markets to have a successful rollout and a successful life of the units. And that's what we are doing at the moment. And that's exactly what we are putting into the focus for the next 12 months.
Well, I'm definitely intrigued. And of course, we'll be following along for much more news to come, I'm sure. Thank you again for sitting with us. I really appreciate it. And we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, Lyndsay.
That was Kevin Unrath, CEO of dynaCERT, trading on the TSX under DYA, on the OTCQB under DYFSF, and on the Frankfurt under DMJ. The next chapter for dynaCERT won't be defined by headlines. It'll be defined by adoption, execution, and whether the market finally sees the scale the company has been building towards. I'm Lyndsay Malchuk with Abaton. Stay sharp and stay tuned for more to come.